Hi guys. I'm smoking some of that new Christmas hash I bought. Black Afghani. 47% THC. $20 a gram. My ears are ringing. Anyhow, those albums come that I bought, right? The guy sent me an email though, and he explained that like he was selling albums. It was on Kijiji. He was selling albums for $2 and $5 a piece. He had two lists, and some great, $2 and $5. Some of these albums you couldn't believe it, right? Like one of the $2 albums worth, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 bucks, right? A Wolf Carter album. And the $5 albums, boy oh boy. Anyhow, he emails me and he tells me that I wanted about 24 albums off the guy, right? Over $100, I believe. And then the shipping, eh? But so the guy emails me and he tells me all the $5 records I wanted, were gone, and a lot of the $2 records were gone too, right? And he says, I have another list of records and all of that, and I'll give you a first crack at it. And I says, well, okay, show me the other list. And so he's, another list of, must have been over 100 records, right? But they were all that Ed Ames, Perry Como, some jazz, it was all garbage to somebody like me. Stuff you see in the thrift stores, right, that nobody takes, right? And he says, I have a box set of big bands. He says, you'd love that. He says, I know you would. And anyhow, I emailed the guy back and I said, well, I'm not really interested in any of them records that you showed me, them new ones, or the box set of the big band. I don't mind big band music, but I don't listen to it very often. And he says, okay, I'll send what you got, what I got, and and I'll make sure it's delivered to your side door, because you leave it on the porch, it gets stolen. Anyhow, I get an email back from the guy and says, I just found out that they delivered your package, but they didn't deliver it to the side door. They delivered it to the front porch. I sure hope you get this message and get them before it gets stolen. Anyhow, I run out. It was about an hour and a half. It was sitting there all on its own out there. But anyway, I went out and I got them, and here they are. Anyhow, he says to me, he sent me in a note. He said he sent me the box set of the big bands, right? It's a Reader Digest box set. It's, I think, 8 records. Yeah, 8 records. And I had a look at a bunch of them, and they are in immaculate, unplayed shape, I'd say. How the hell does this go back in? Come on, boys. It's giving me a hard time here, guys. We'll get it. Now, there we go. He sent this to me as a freebie to make up for everything else. But anyhow, it was still not bad. Here, I'll show you what I got. That many albums, right? Let's go through them. I've got to move my hash. Ooh, nice stuff. Been a while since I smoked some hash, at least a year and a half. Here's the first one. It's a promo copy too, eh? Utopia, Swing to the Right. That's Todd Rundgren's band. It's not a great album. It's to me, it's not good at all. But the picture is what struck me. Eh? This picture here is a picture of in Georgia, 1966, when John Lennon. Everybody's burning that pile over there. That's a big fire, and they're burning all their Beatle records. All these kids, right, and everybody, right? Because when John Lennon said that, the Beatles are more popular than Jesus, right? And so everybody started burning their books down in the Bible Belt. And actually, I can remember him saying one time he says I could put out a book that doesn't have a word in it and people would buy it. And I actually owned that book when I collected first editions, right? I actually had that. But anyhow, this is Todd Rundgren. What the hell did I write down on here? Let's see here now. Yeah, first song's kind of proggy, I guess, and the rest of it is Mickey Mouse commercial stuff to me, anyhow, right? But that's this here. I'm just mentioning all about the picture and all of that, and what they do. That's actually a Beatles record, but they superimpose the cover on the Beatles record so that if you look, it's infinity. If you keep looking at the cover in the picture, the cover, it's looking in two mirrors back to back, them images. And that's what they try to do with that, but you can't really tell or see it just looking at this, right? But that's apparently what it was all about, right? Next album here. I know one guy who's going to laugh. Cliff Richards here, eh? I'm no hero. Why I get him, and I've got his first 45 and a bunch of them. Incidentally, the first rock and roll tune in England was a song by Cliff Richards. I have it, a couple of copies of it, as a matter of fact. Well, an original and some represses. I forget the name of it now, right? But the reason why I kind of saved or collected Cliff Richard a little bit is because when I was like 13 years old, that's 1962, they had all kinds of teen magazines going around, right? Pictures of the Teen Idols, Fabian, all the rest of them, and this guy was a teen idol too, right? And I remember a girl telling me after a dance, and I didn't even know her, right? And she says, "You look an awful lot like Cliff Richards." And oh, really? Yeah. And that's why I sort of, I grabbed Cliff Richards. It's a memory thing, yeah. Oh, here, look at this guy here. Jerry Jeff Walker. 2-record set. Good old Jerry Jeff. I tell a story, or have told a story, about a gig that I run. It was actually my first that I had to run all by my own. I worked for a music place management company that we had 6 acts, that we managed, and we had 5 bars that we put the music into, right? And one of the gigs that I put together at the Cameo Lounge at the Jarvis House was Jerry Jeff Walker, was my first one. And I tell a story about upstairs, it was the Hawk, Ronnie Hawkins, Gordy Lightfoot, Ian and Sylvia, and then Garth Hudson and Ricky Danko walk in, and first thing Ricky says, "Give me a beer and where's the pot?" And then the party started. They never got down there till real late, but they played straight through till like almost 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And what a party and what a show. I told the story before, right? But this guy here, Jerry Jeff, he was sort of full country, and the reason why Ian and Sylvia and Gordy Lightfoot was there, saying hi up in the room. I had a room upstairs for the band, before they were supposed to, go downstairs and all of that. And it wasn't a room, it was a suite. And I put a couple of cases of beer up there for them. But the reason why Gordy and Ian and Sylvia and the Hawk and, everybody were coming to see Jerry Jeff is Jerry Jeff used to be down, they all knew each other down in Greenwich Village in New York, and the folk scene down in New York City in the mid '60s, right? So they were all coming over to say hi to him. So Jerry Jeff, that's why he was. I was up there because they were late going down, but they were having a party. Anyhow, that's another story. I told it already, right? Now, Jerry Jeff, he was folk country kind of, eh? And he's known for Mr. Bojangles, '68, I think that song was, and that's he got famous and he sort of lived on that for the rest. But he did write some songs and did other songs, and he hung out with that outlaw crowd, Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings and Guy Clark, those kind of guys, right? And actually, Willie's song, Lukenbach, Texas, they mentioned Jerry Jeff singing about his trains in that song, Lukenbach, Texas, eh? He was also mentioned in a few other songs written by some of them country outlaw guys, eh? Jerry Jeff was a country outlaw, and I gotta tell you, what a party, and seeing him live that one night and all of that. This was in the early '70s, so he was rocking and rolling. His folk music ain't nothing at all like his live show. I don't even think he did a ballad that night, right? It was all rock and roll. He did medleys of. He does a medley here of some rock and roll tunes, right? That I'll play it here again, because anyhow, Jerry Jeff, yeah, love it. Here's a guy here, a Canadian guy, sort of jazz, new age. He was nominated for a couple awards, Canadian awards. Sort of soulless R&B, that new age stuff. It's it's not that it's not for me, this kind of music, right? But I thought I'd check it out, right? And it's not for me, more or less. He's Canadian. Yeah, Brett. I didn't own any Brett albums. And they're kind of mellow. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. Oh, yeah. Look at this puppy. That's a 1959 Canadian First Press, Decca. Worth about $60, $70 in this kind of shape, eh? I'll show you the label. The early Decca label. This will be hard going back in. It's as heavy as shit. '59 in Canada, that's what the Decca labels look like. We're not very flashy up here in Canada. Unless you give us a hockey stick. Then we'll carve you up. Leafs doing pretty good so far, but the playoffs have yet to come, right? He was born in Nova Scotia, this guy, Wilf Carter. But he moved out west to Calgary, I believe, and was working out there at a radio station, had a whole bunch of wacko jobs. Same as Jerry Jeff, he had a lot of crazy jobs, right? But Wilf, how he got famous was he wrote a song about the Mad Trapper. The Canadian Mad Trapper. They made a movie about it. They got videos on YouTube about it. Canada's Mad Trapper. What a story that is. I'm trying to get this guy, right? And what he had to go through, right? But down in the States, you called him Montana Slim. But up here, he was known as Wilf Carter. And it's this one here in this kind of shape is worth between $50 and $70. I paid $2 for it. Can't go wrong. Canadian girl, Susan Jacks. Pop music. Only reason I got it is because I got, a half-assed extensive connection to Canadian artists, right? No sense pulling that out. Here's another guy. I bought that on spec. Checked it out. Scott Merritt, Canadian guy. I don't like it at-all. Real commercial crap. Gene McClellan, a Canadian legend, singer-songwriter. He wrote Snowbird. There was a bunch of songs he wrote that become pretty big hits and all of that, right? But he is, this is worth, even in this kind of shape, the edge is chewed up, but the vinyl's in immaculate shape. This is still worth $20 or $30. It's an original LP. Yeah, it's on the Green Capital. My sister met him quite a few times. Interviewed him on her radio program a number of times. Canadian legend he is. Here's an American legend. Elvis. Elvis the Pelvis. As recorded at Madison Square Garden. What year would that be? Early 70s, I would imagine. 72. Yeah, 1972. The thing about this, though, wait till I show you. See at the very bottom it says Dynaflex. Dynaflex albums sound shitty. You know, they used to make some, pretty cool 45s on Dynaflex, which was a goddamn shame, right? But that's a Dynaflex. That's something you rookies should know, right? That Dynaflex records they don't sound very good. Here's Southside Johnny and the Asbury Dukes. I actually gave I got some pictures of it too. I actually gave a promo 45 of Southside Johnny to the bar I drink at is called Southside Johnny's. The name of the guy is Johnny, and he has a picture, a framed picture of 4 albums side by side, side by side in a frame, and this is the top left one of the 4 albums in the frame, right? So I see that, and I had a promo 45, a white label promo, so I gave it to him and told him to put that in a frame right up on there, that it's kind of rare and all of that. If he's going to have records, may as well have the 45 crowd in there too. So he did, and what he did is he had a picture of Southside Johnny down at the Gardens a year before, which was, I don't know, this was about 7 or 8 years ago. I gave him this record. No, not that long ago, about 4 years ago, and a ticket to that concert that when Southside Johnny was in there in Toronto. I guess 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And he put that up. But the dumb guy, what he did was, on the flip side of the white label was an orange label that was stereo. The white label side was mono, right, of this particular song. And I told him after he framed it the wrong way, he didn't. He had the white label against the wall instead of you dumbass. And he says, "Well, I didn't know." Anyhow, that's a Southside Johnny and the Asbury Dukes. And not bad. Guys ain't bad. Not bad at all. And the last band here is the Powder Blues, uncut. This is their debut album. Their very first one. I seen these guys. These guys are from BC originally, eh? Maybe Rachel seen them. And Edwin. Edwin might have seen them too, probably, right? But they after this album here, this went like double platinum actually, which in Canada is like platinum's 100,000 records. We got 1/10 the population you got in the States. That's why our money's lower than yours too. Hmm. Anyhow, Powder Blues, well, they're a pretty good rock and roll band. What the hell's the name? They had a couple of hits. Oh, I can't see it. I can't see. What do you want from me? I'm blind. Anyhow, those are the albums I got. Not much there really. I got a couple of gems and some garbage and that box set of. I'll actually play and listen to that. It's got Artie Shaw on there and everybody else. I shouldn't have read you the names. There's 8 records. That's a lot of a lot of big band music, right? The Dorsey Brothers or them on their own. But the 45s. Where do you see the 45s I got? I only ordered 6 of them, but they're Jim Dandies, and they'll be here before Christmas. Anyhow, guys, that's it. Merry Christmas. There's the Southside Johnny albums in my bar I was talking about. There's the promo that I give him that he put up.